Welcome in, everybody. Little shout out. R.I.P. Ace. R.I.P. Ace Frehley, folks. R.I.P. That's a good lesson. When you start getting up there in age like I am, and like some of us are in here, you really got to take care of yourselves, folks. It turns out, I guess Ace Frehley passed away because he fell. And, when we get older, you got to be careful of that stuff. Like, I've noticed myself, I've gone up and down the stairs at this house thousands of times. And you take for granted, that, you know how many steps are in there, if you know what I mean. Especially if you're in the dark or if it's not very well lit. You got to be careful. If you fall, it can be life-threatening. And then I found out today that Diane Keaton died of pneumonia. Age, be careful, folks. Be careful, folks. I got lots of little things to talk about. Things that I've been thinking about the past couple of days. First of all, let me pop this one up first. You're not going to be able to see this all the way. This is the GoFundMe for Bilal. Pam, when are you going to take it down? Because, there is a ceasefire. Guess what? If you tell me that food's not getting in, then guess who's not blockading? Guess who's not blockading? Have been blockading. So, their days of peril is pretty much over. So, take down the GoFundMes. Now that your plot thing is this. I found out something interesting, when I was doing that. When you put your financial information, when you put your financial information in for the GoFundMe as to where the money's going to go, you have to put in your own or directly related to the person that is running the GoFundMe. Now, I know that there were a couple other ways. I think you could send it to a credit card or something like that, but still, it had to be your own. So again, Pam, my question is this. The $900 that you collected for Bilal, which one of your personal accounts did it go in? And again, where's the receipt of you transferring all that money over? Because the way that I showed all the financials along the way, I kept giving daily updates, like almost hourly updates of how much money was in there. It's really simple to do. I mean, it took me 2 seconds every time. And yet you still didn't show any receipts. I know the money had to go directly into your own personal accounts. So, when a tip leads to Mike's arrest, you're going to see $2,000 go from my account into somebody's account. You never show those receipts still. And number two, why do you still have the GoFundMe up when you haven't even... I think the reason why Pammy is so pissed off still at me is because her GoFundMe for Bilal, which has been up since May, has only reached $916. And the GoFundMe that I started to pay somebody that has the information on where Mike is and to get him arrested made $1,600 in less than 7 hours. So I understand. I understand you don't know how to fundraise for something. But the other thing that shows is even when you started these fundraisers, people didn't trust you. So there's that. But so in Pammy's world, okay, she started these GoFundMes because there was a war. There was no food coming in. Their life was in peril every day. That's done now. The only peril now that people in Gaza are dealing with is Hamas. Hamas unaliving people in the streets in public unaliving ceremonies. It's not the Israelis, Snarky. It's not the Israelis. So I think it's about time for you to say thank you for everybody that donated. I'm still not showing you the receipts, and I'm taking the GoFundMes down. That's the first thing that she should do. And then the other question I have for Snark is, why are there so many people that don't like you on this app? I mean, I saw Petty's live yesterday, and of course Snark had to go in there and, open her mouth, and then she dropped out of a box. Why is it that there's so many people that don't like you? I mean, it's crazy. And, I said this once to another creator on this app. If there's people that don't like you, rather than blaming the people that don't like you, you got to look at yourself at some point and say, what am I doing to piss so many people off? So, as I said, Pammy, if you'd like some lessons on how to be transparent when you do a GoFundMe, hit me up, girl. Hit me up. I'll show you what to do. Next talking point. We could stay right on this picture. I don't have any good news about Michael Kinney being arrested at this time, but I think it's interesting how he was going to have that fucking sham of a live with supposedly a former student of mine that was going to dish on why I left why I left teaching early, because he's been saying some pretty disgusting and vile things, which are not true. But I find it interesting that last night he didn't go live on it after all. Yeah, OG Petty, I know what you're saying. After all, the times you've been saying those disgusting and slandering things. My guess is it's probably somebody who is his butt crack dealer, and they had to go sell stuff last night. That's the only thing I can imagine, because, why else wouldn't he be online? Quite honestly, I hope that he got arrested, but I don't have any information regarding that. I'm sure he'll, crawl his way out of a sewer hole pretty soon and come back on. But just everybody be aware of that. After he has this supposed live on me, I'll show proof that he, again, is a fucking liar. Just like he was with the copyright stuff. Just like he is with everything he says. I have proof to show. So I'll just wait till he puts his bullshit out. Yeah, I know. I think he's still counting pixels on that picture of a postage. He's still measuring ink spread on the paper and counting, the little what did he call it? The something map, texture map. He's still staring at that texture map. Yeah, so, when he has that sham of a live, when he's done with that, I'll show the proof that, yet again, he's full of shit. I want to remind people that are listening, probably from the outside, because they know if they come in here, they're going to get fucking blocked in a heartbeat. I want to remind all those people that are supporting him, and especially to anybody that may or may not be helping him in some way. And helping him in some way means you know where he is and you're not reporting it. Or it could be, helping him out with places to stay for a night or two, or maybe sending him a little money here and there. I want to remind you of something he himself said. He said, I think it was in a live last year, that he was pretty much saying that he was untouchable in terms of him ever going into prison or jail, because he has a good lawyer and he always pleads down. And we also know, I have a clip of him somewhere that will eventually be going to the prosecutor once he is arrested, where he admits that he lied to a judge. When he had, I think it was racketeering charges against him, because it was a crime that included 2 other people. And he flat out said he lied to a judge to say that the other 2 guys that were involved with him were not involved. It was all him. And because he lied to a judge, the racketeering charges got dropped and he pled down. I don't think whatever judge is going to see him when he finally has to appear is going to really much like hearing him say he lied to a judge. But I digress. You plead down to cases when you lie, or you give them information that they're looking for. And anybody who knows where he is, or has sent him money, or helped him in any way since that warrant was issued at the beginning of August, and everybody that supports him knows he has an open warrant. It did take Mallory quite a few days to understand that I was telling the truth about it. And, that's her. And I'm still waiting for my apology, Mallory. See, Mallory, what you got to understand is there are people on this app that tell the truth. I mean, you surround yourself with people that don't do that. And maybe you need to understand that there are people that don't behave like your friends do. I didn't lie about a warrant. And still, after the live we had, where the owner of the store said there's a warrant, and after that same live where we had the police officer saying, or I should say the sheriff, investigator saying, there is a warrant multiple times, you still didn't believe it. And then we showed the warrant. And I haven't heard her because I don't listen to that. But I'm wondering if she's apologized yet. And if you notice the video I did of her a couple of days ago, telling her that she needs to sit the fuck down because she doesn't know what she's talking about. Again, number one, the warrant. And number two, did you hear her say, oh, I spoke with the chief of police? And then it was, I emailed the chief of police. There is no chief of police in Alachua County. When there's a sheriff's department, you have no chief of police. So, talking about lying, Mallory, please. But, as I was saying, the way that you plead down is by throwing people under a bus or lying to a judge. So if there's anybody helping him in any way, shape, or form, if you don't think he's going to throw your ass under a bus to try to lower his incarceration by a year or so, you're out of your fucking mind. You are out of your fucking mind. If he thinks that he can throw a name out there of somebody that knew where he was for months and they didn't turn him in, and that would save him a year behind bars, he's going to throw your ass under a bus. If you don't think that you knowing where he is and you not saying anything is okay, but that means 1 year off of his sentence, if he says your name, you're going to be thrown under a fucking bus. People like him don't care about anybody but him. Any opportunity he gets to knock years off of a sentence, which he will have, he will be incarcerated. And it's not going to be, we're talking about FM. It's not going to be for a couple years. It's not going to be only a 2-year sentence or something like that. He's not going to get out on bond. We already saw his bond is $315,000. They are not going to offer him a bond because he is a runner. He has no house to live in. He lives in his van. He's been running away from the law for a long time. He is a flight risk. He is an absolute flight risk based on his past. He's not getting out. Why do you think he's running? So y'all that have been helping him in any way, if you have, I would worry. Because you will get called out by him. As soon as those cuffs are slapped on him and he appears in front of a judge and he gets thrown in jail and there's no release for him because he's going to have, he's not going to be able to either pay his bond or get released on bond. He's going to meet with a public defender down there And he is going to be... Well, here's a good thing. Let me explain what he's going to be like. You know those big... buckets you can get at like Home Depot or Lowe's? So I had that on my floor, and it was near my container of chicken, food for the chickens, okay? I had like one of those big plastic containers with lids. So a mouse thought it was going to be a good idea to try to crawl up on the food and see if it could get in. Now, what this poor thing did is actually fall into the bucket, and it couldn't get out. It was stuck there, and it was scratching on the sides of the bucket, and it was running around the bucket trying to find an escape route. Now, what I did, which is the right thing to do, is I took the bucket outside and I let the mouse go because I don't like killing animals. So I let it out, so it ran away. But that's going to be Mike once he's incarcerated. He's that mouse in that plastic bucket with no way out, scratching and clawing and trying to get the hell out of there, and there's no way out. His only way of making it slightly better is by ratting people out. He will figure out, how many years can I get taken off for each name I give you that helped me when I was on the run? When they knew I was on the run and I was wanted for a felony 1 for stealing over $119,000 worth of property that was not mine. And y'all that don't think he'd do that, okay. We'll wait and watch. We'll wait and watch the drama. Because it will happen. Right, Ruby? Mm-hmm. And again, the fact that these people are still over there defending him. When they heard the owner of that store talk about how he had been building his collection since he was a kid, and he had been trading and selling stuff before he owned the store, and how they owned that store, and how Mike allegedly, even though we saw the videotapes, even though they got his license plate from a van, allegedly went in there and took all of the high ticket items. And this guy has not been able to obviously make the money like he was, but that's okay. These raggedy ass hoes can sit over there and fawn over him and go in the boxes and laugh it up. And we'll see them scatter like the roaches they are as soon as he's gone. Somebody asked a question, if people are sending him gifts on TikTok, would that be aiding and abetting? I bet it is. I bet it is because, I mean, they're sending him a form of financial help. Absolutely they are. Girl. Everybody, the judge has entered the room. If you'd please stand, show your respects. And you may be seated. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely something that, will be known to the prosecutor and the officer. Because it is very easy to go back to lives and see who's been gifting. Just saying. Also, I want you to notice when he goes live next time, and hopefully it'll, be my former student who's supposed to say information about me as to why I'm not teaching, but whatever. Take a look at who's in his lives. Go in on a burner if you want to get nosy and take a look at the people in his lives. Take a look at the names, the usernames. Take a look at who's in his boxes. Just do that. Compare it to about a month ago or 2 months ago. Compare it. Because one of the things that's interesting is, even though we've been getting, people have also been very loose-lipped about other people. Very loose-lipped about other people. I'm gonna go out closer to my. It's because I was in my shed, or I should say, in my garage. So yeah, it's interesting, Dope, and that's all I could say. What else did I want to talk about today? Why is there some guy? Oh, I was like, why is there some guy in my front yard near the woods? And it's my tenant. So, beautiful day here. We're like 60 today. That's good stuff. What else did I want to discuss today? Okay. I talked about Scammy Grammy. I spoke on Mallory. Mallory, I'm still waiting for your apology, by the way. I talked on Harmony. Thomas Shields disappeared. He absolutely disappeared. Mallory is in here? Oh. Yeah, Thomas Shields disappeared. I think he was getting tired of being tracked down by a bunch of women and constantly being hounded by police because he too has warrants out and was not, was running away. Mallory, I think it's weird that a couple weeks ago you were stop talking about me, Scammy. I want nothing to do with you, and you should have nothing to do with me. And yet you've just been at gums for quite a while. I mean, for real. It's all good, though. So, yeah, Thomas Shields, after he got the Scammy and Friends treatment with us keeping an eye on where he was, and every time he went somewhere, the cops were confronting him and asking him questions, and he lied every time, even though we told the cops he had a fake ID. Yeah, he got off of social media, and people have been keeping an eye on IG. All of his TikTok accounts he has not been on. So, right? Yeah, it was a couple days ago where Mallory was upset because she said, why is it now that people are defending other people when Florida Man was going after me and nobody defended me. And like I said in that live, it's because people don't like you. People defend people that they like. Any of my friends on here, if they're getting attacked, I will go to their defense. Because that's what you do when somebody is your friend and you believe in them. So when you're the recipient of being bitch slapped around TikTok by somebody, who you're now sitting with Mallory, which makes it even worse. I think I referred to you as a doormat, too. The fact that you're sitting over there and watching him do this to other people and you're still crying about what he did to you, girl, you need a checkup from the neck up, because that ain't right. And again, the reason why people didn't stick up for you is because people don't think you're an honorable person. So there's that. Oh, and let me clarify one thing if she is in here, and even if she's not. And I did say this on the live a couple nights ago. People did reach out to me and tell me that Mallory did buy her own couch. Okay, so that was not purchased by mods. I haven't even talked about it, but I'll bring it up again. Her mods did not buy that couch unless I see any eyes. And so she bought that couch herself. But the Ring doorbell and the groceries and the DoorDash food, yeah, that was bought by her mods and sent to her. And yes, Mallory still has the top 2 ways in her bio in a link tree where you can send. So there's that. Admitted it breezy twice now on lives, but there's some people that can't admit when they're wrong, and that's okay. People see that. Oh, she's had her Cash App, and I forgot what the other one is, Zelle or something. She's had 2 different ways to send her money for a year now. I mean, I know from the point where she was begging for birthday gifts for her permanent fiance. Yeah. And that was over a year ago. Getting back to other stuff now. Let's talk about Jen. Oh, Rent-A-Center. You gave her Sean's old couch? Okay, I have no problem with that. She could have Sean's free couch. Probably wouldn't even smell the difference. So let's talk about Jen. You remember when Jen was all that in a bag of chips for the past 2 weeks because people were letting her into boxes to tell her story? Oh, I've been bullied and harassed. People are following me and people get me fired from every job, and I'm doing so good on my own, and I've changed my life around. I'm doing it on my own, and that pisses everybody off. I'm here to tell my truth. All that stuff. What did I say? As soon as people were done with her, they would kick her to the curb like the recycling. Well, the recycling came earlier this week. Because if you notice, Jen has not been on. And why has she not been on? For a number of reasons. First of all, if you missed the epic live, and again, a shout out here to Mallory, because I did give her a shout out the night that she went into FWA's And she absolutely dropped a bomb in that live where Jen got totally called out for lying. If you missed that, in a nutshell, when Jen wants to try to get back on the app again, she reaches out to all these different creators, people that don't even fucking know her. And she's like, I'd like to tell my story. I'd like to tell blah, 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 blah. And usually the first response is, who the fuck are you? Because people don't all know who she is. But she reaches out to all these people claiming to be a victim, and she wants to be heard. So how did that work out in Florida Man's Live? Well, all of us in here know Jen a hell of a lot better than Florida Man and most of the people that follow him. And 99% of the stuff that she said were lies. But I wouldn't expect anything less being, spouted out on Florida Man's platform, because all he does is lie. I mean, why would he actually have somebody go in there and tell the truth? So she did that, and she was a big hero for about, 24 hours. And then the next time she was in a live there, if you noticed, I'm sure, Robin, it's probably on Scam Slams, maybe Drama Talk. It's there. The next time she went in, she was muted most of the time. And they were talking about other shit. And finally, she just left. Why? Because nobody was asking her questions anymore. She wasn't important anymore. So you had her go to FWA's live, and she lied about her DV situation. Because as we all know, since we have been listening to her, and knowing about her, me for almost 2 years, and for people in here much more than that, they've heard every freaking word and lie that's come out of her mouth. All of a sudden, she had a new DV story. She had a new DV story all of a sudden that nobody had ever heard before. And it comes out that the new story she told was actually the story of another person who was in a DV chat group. And this person, who I don't even know who it was, spoke about her experience, and it was the story that Jen shared. And then, as we know, of course, because of that, Jen got a gift card from FWA, which, again, is weird, because here's somebody who should be focusing on fighting for her life based on her impending court situation, giving money to people. So then she went in there again at one point. And that's when Mallory dropped the bomb. Jen was using a fake account, as we know she used with Texas Tiff when she said, I'm a family member of Jen, and I'm trying to get a list of people who gave her money so we could start paying them back. Yes, simple, sweet. And lo and behold, the fake account was Jen. So this fake account that had been reaching out to Mallory, saying that, talking about Jen, even though it was Jen, Mallory drops a bomb that indeed Jen was lying. And Jen handled that the best way she could, which was to run. She dropped out of a box and she left. Then, the first live that homie had when he came back, he was recapping the whole situation that Jen was a part of, shock, where if you remember that phone conversation that homie played about a month and a half ago, where Jen was saying that homie was the head of a huge rug ring, and Dora and T were involved, and KK was involved, and Jen was asked to get supplies from somebody and to drive it somewhere so SP could get it. That phone conversation was recorded in, I believe, May or April of this year. Her reasoning was that she wanted Scotty to protect her from all of the harassment and bullying she has been receiving. Now, my beautiful people, you need to remember, Jen hasn't even been on the app. Sporadically, maybe once a month, she would come on this year with a black screen and tell everybody how great she was doing. And that's it. Her lives would be 10 or 15 minutes. Done. Nobody was harassing her. Nobody was bullying her. I wasn't talking about her. T and Dora weren't talking about her. And those were the people over the years that had been bringing awareness to her. Jen is in Snark's box. Oh, brother. Snark, tell me you don't want to be relevant without telling me you don't want to be relevant. Again, septic tank always float to the bottom and they all get together. So, hold on here. Let me see what I can pull up. So let me get my story out here. So she claims that it was because people were bullying and harassing her, which had not been happening. What was the gist of the first live that homie had? And then the next live, which was a couple days ago, his receipts. And not only was it the whole, homie's part of this ring, but it comes out based on what homie said that they also wanted homie to be unalived. And they wanted him to be swatted. And Jen knew about this. And before homie came out in that live with that, Jen goes live. And in Jen's live, Jen is trying to act like a stand-up person, saying that, I sent all the proof to homie last night, and I apologize to them. Act like she's a stand-up person, and she has morals and all that. And if you should go back, and it's almost as if she knew homie was going to go on that same day and bring out all this new information. Kind of weird, ironic, huh? So homie comes out with all that information. And as it turns out, Scotty and Jen got into an argument. And at one point, it seemed as though Jen possibly thought that she had a shot with Scotty, if you know what I mean. Because she made a comment to him, I saw you talking to that woman in a box. What? That's weird. Why would you bring that up? The only time you bring a comment like that up is if you like somebody and maybe they like you, or, you get jealous that somebody's talking to another person. Weird. So after homie bitch slapped her around TikTok for about an hour, all of a sudden she's gone. Again. Again. She's like Casper, except she's not a friendly ghost. When going gets tough, the tough get going. Or, in her case, she disappears. Let's see what Scammy Pammy is yakking about. And again, it's funny because, as I said, all these people chill together.
I ain't saying shit, bitch. We listening to you.
And again, it's funny.
Oh, kitty.
As I said, Scammy Pammy. Scammy Pammy, how you doing?
You're the one that's bothered, Scammy.
Scammy Pammy. Scammy Pammy, how you doing?
I'm great.
Pam, would you like some lessons? Would you like some lessons on how to be transparent when you do a GoFundMe? I could teach you. Pam, would you like some lessons? Would you like some lessons on how to be transparent when you do a GoFundMe?
See, here's the thing about transparency. I don't have to be transparent to a stupid fucking whore on the internet. I can be transparent to the people that donated, but to some dumb fucking whore on the internet, never gonna happen. To a stupid fucking whore on the internet.
Isn't she classy? Do you find it interesting, too, how all of a sudden she's becoming like Mrs. fucking Betty Crocker over there after Petty said to her yesterday, you should be home cooking and taking care of your granddaughter. And now she's like Betty fucking Crocker over there. After Petty said to her yesterday, you should be home cooking and taking care of your granddaughter. And now she's like Betty fucking Crocker over there.
Well, it seems if you knew people that know me in real life, I love to cook. I love to cook. It gives me joy.
Maybe cooking the books, yeah. Cooking the books, yeah, but cooking?
Mark has been cooking for quite some time now.
Maybe cooking the books, yeah. Cooking the books, yeah, but cooking?
Coming from a bitch holding on to $1,600 for something that's never going to happen, you sound fucking stupid.
It's never gonna happen, huh?
Coming from a bitch holding on to $1,600 for something that's never going to happen, you sound fucking stupid.
It's never gonna happen, huh?
Never going to happen.
You sound pressed there, Snarky. Well, I'm glad I got their ear because I'm going to continue on here about Jen. She's in there. She's not saying anything because she knows she has nothing to say. So, yes. So, Pammy, stay bothered. I love it. Jen, stay dirty. You're still living dirty. Whether or not you're doing anything, you're still living dirty. Oh, another funny thing came up in those text messages. Now, I can tell you that throughout the summer, Jen was saying to me in the emails that she was doing really well. And, I'm telling you, hold on, honeybee. I am willing to show all the emails that Jen and I have had because I supported that bitch since last fall. And by supported, meaning telling her what a great job she was doing. Telling her, that she's really changed and she showed people that she can do it. And when I finally blocked her from having contact with me at the beginning of September, because she started saying that I was a whole part of the dog situation, and I've been saying stuff about her online, which was false, I was like, why am I supporting her by telling her what a great job she's doing? And I've done nothing to her for a year in terms of streaming her and all that. Why should I be in contact with somebody like that? But that whole time she's telling me, oh yeah, I'm doing great and I have X amount of dollars in my savings. Why is it then with text messages that homie showed up until September that she made it kind of sound like she thought that she was going to be getting money from Scotty? Because she said something to the extent of, well, I'm sitting here and my truck is broken and I have bills to pay and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. Why is it that you go into somebody's live and you dry beg and say, well, I don't have any food? You know what? And is Jen still in there? Are they still listening? Let me pull it up here.
Way entertained during this live.
Oh,
you
good.
Can direct your gifts to them.
Good. Jen is still in there. I don't know if she's listening anymore. I don't think she is.
Fuck that fat fucking whore.
Good. Jen is still in there. I don't know if she's listening anymore. Hey, Jen, do me a favor. Show me the Cash App receipts of when I sent you money 10 times. Can you do that? Show them right now. Snark, Big Boxer. Big Boxer, let her show those receipts. Big Boxer, Snark, come on. This is your big moment.
Know that you don't need to be ashamed of her ignorance.
Oh, you don't have to show anything because of her ignorance. Okay.
We don't give a fuck.
See?
Your big moment.
Yes, don't say
me $1 and then
don't even say anything. We don't care about that. We are more concerned about what Snark is cooking. Thank you.
See?
That does look good though.
See, you're more concerned about what Snark is cooking, but you're streaming me, right?
That food looks good.
See? It does. It really does.
You're more concerned about what Snark is cooking, but you're streaming me, right? So I'll keep talking. Jen, show the receipts. Show the receipts, Jen. Breezy, tell her to show the receipts. Tell her to show the receipts. Come on. This is your big aha moment. Come on. Show them. Scammy's lying. Come on. Show them. Tell her to show the receipts. Come on. This is your
How are you doing?
I don't what?
How are you doing? I'm great. I want to take a little bit of a mod break if I can.
Absolutely.
Scammy, you have TT in your comments? She owes somebody $600 still. I can. Oh,
I'll be damned.
and you know what?
Wait.
She owes somebody $600 still. I can. Oh, I'll be damned. And you know what? Wait.
How much money does Pammy own the people that sent her money for her Jeep 2 times over? Have you asked her that, Chevy?
You let tech in your box, And she has her Cash App in her bio.
Wow.
You know what happened yesterday?
No.
Right? Exactly, Mama G.
Live about me because I had
Exactly.
some things to say about his announcement yesterday morning. And guess
Track just a little bit
Sure.
to Mallory's part in this.
Yes, absolutely.
The FM part.
Mm-hmm.
Mallory's tracking down the wrong entity, just for the record. There is a chief of police. He has nothing to do with the sheriff's department, who's in
Correct.
charge of finding FM.
Right.
So
Well,
it's such a silly statement to say that she talked to the chief of police.
yeah, I know. And, this is the thing. If, she was telling the truth, she could have just said, oh, I was confused. This person has nothing to do with the case. Because the entity that drew out the warrant is not that same entity.
Right.
But
The chief of police has nothing to do with it.
correct. But then again, she does not admit when she's wrong. So she can't
Of
say,
course.
she talks about people doing research and all that. She didn't do her research, and she stood 10 toes down on what she said. And now she's sitting on her couch again with no toes down, and she's not admitting she's wrong.
Right. I found it so hilarious when she was boasting about talking to the chief of police.
Well, it was funny when she was in somebody's live. I forgot who it was. She was in a box. I think it was Queen Witches, and she said, well, I spoke with somebody today, and they said that they were going to have to send me to another place about the warrant. And somebody said, it's Queen Witcher and somebody in a box said, well, who did you speak to? And there's this pause, and she goes, the chief. The chief?
Cough.
The chief? And that's why I made the video. The chief. How about a name? The chief? Are you talking about like the Atlanta Braves, like Chief Wahoo or something?
Yes, that's the chief. That's the chief she spoke to.
Oh God. Or I don't know. The Kansas City Chiefs. Were you talking to the owner? Were you talking to the coach? Who are you talking? What chief were you talking to?
Yeah, I found it quite hilarious. I formerly worked for the chief. I mean, for the sheriff. So I'm well aware of how that works. So
Are you down?
just.
Are you down in Florida?
I'm not. I'm not out. I'm not in that area at all. But
Now, from what I understand, based on what I looked at, when you have a sheriff's department, when it's a smaller town, right? And there's usually sheriffs for small towns. You don't generally have a chief of police and then officers and all that. It's generally for larger municipal areas that there's a chief of police with police officers.
well, and I'm in a larger area. The chief is over your street police.
Right.
The sheriff is over the county.
Okay.
Okay, and it's a county-wide warrant. And I mean, it's a nationwide warrant at this point. But it's just silly. I mean, the whole statement just made me chuckle, and I've been waiting to say something.
Well, I've been waiting for her to admit that she was wrong, but that's never going to happen either.
Or even throw out a chief's name. Let's hear a chief's name.
And if she says Chief Wahoo, I'm going to wet my pants. I am. So.
Yes, the chief can have more reach. Shall I call it? Somebody just asked in the comments,
right,
whether or not they have more responsibility.
She kept saying that chief. Now, I'm sorry, but if she actually spoke to somebody within that county in that department, I would guess that whoever was in that department would be able to pull up what warrants were active.
Yes. I
So,
mean, obviously the chief can pull up the same information. However, it's not governed under the chief.
right. So for her to say that, well, first I think she said she spoke with somebody, and then she said no, it was an email. And she said the chief contacted her back and sent her to another department, which is weird because, as I said, I'm sure anybody in a sheriff department has the ability to look up any active warrant. So, what department exactly was she sent to so they could tell her
Well,
there's a warrant?
which FYI, any letter that came from the chief came from the one that writes his letters. It didn't come from the chief. Chief isn't going to take time to write a letter to some wackadoodle under the internet.
Yep, yep.
But
So, hey, as Jen would say, nice try, wrong guy.
exactly. Anyway, I just had to
Thanks,
put that
honey.
out there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet.
The chief of Frito Lay. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Somebody just mentioned in the chat maybe the chief she was talking to was Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, I heard about what FM did to Retina, and again, that is why I am so interested in continuing to push this reward money, because he's not stopping. He's still doing the same shit. I'm not gonna. If Retina wants to talk about it, she can. I'm not gonna put that on here. I'm not gonna put it on here. No. That's okay. That's okay. Diagnosis. That's okay. But just know that he did something slimy and disgusting, like he normally does, because he's a vile piece of trash. And any of these women that support him, Snark, Breezy, Bougie, OG, any of these people over there that continue to sit in his boxes, if anybody did the stuff that FM is doing to women on this, and it happened to them and they were a victim, they would be screaming from the rafters. And I don't condone it. I don't condone everything Florida Man does. I just want to start by saying I don't condone everything Florida Man does. You do. People whose actions that you don't like and you don't condone, you don't go into their lives. Period. So again, as a reminder to the 430 people in here and the 7 that are in Snarks Live, anybody who has any information on where Florida Man otherwise known as Michael Allen Kinney, is, please call the Alachua County tip line. I have it posted on my page. Or reach out to the Gmail, bolomichaelkinney@gmail.com. Any tips that lead to him being arrested? In my GoFundMe that I posted, when he gets arrested and that person's tip led to it, you're going to get $2,000 sent to you. When he is incarcerated and found guilty, you're going to get $10,000 from the owner of Swamped Collectibles. And any person that helped him either get rid of cards or helped him after the fact and with regards to the robbery, it's $5,000 for each person that their name is investigated, and if have been found that they did indeed help him in any way with that burglary, because I know we're very sensitive about our words over there, burglary, $5,000 per person. So somebody's looking at a payday. If they have information on him, at least $12,000, if not more. And I'll say it again. Florida Man will throw each and every one of you under a bus if you helped him at all and he is caught. He will do anything to try to lower the amount of years that he's going to have to serve. Right, Angel Mama? That's true. That's true. That is a lot of water tanks. That is a lot of water for Gaza. That's a lot of food you can buy. I mean, hell, that could be a down payment on a new vehicle. That could be a Christmas cruise for a family. It could be a very happy Christmas. It would be a very happy Christmas. And y'all could be celebrating. Yeah, that could be a one-way ticket to the West Bank. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities with that money that people could use. A new Jeep. It could be plastic surgery. It could be a whole lot of things. It could be a good number of years of cigarettes. It could be, a ton of stuff. It could be a ton of stuff. It could be a ton of stuff. It could. It could be some Pokemon cards purchased the right way. Sean is still, he's still hiding. I mean, he came out of his hole. He came out of his hidey hole once, about almost 3 weeks after the live that we had. 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. And of course he denied. He and Shy were just friends. And he said he just happened to end up in Illinois, and just happened to end up, 4 minutes from where Shy is or something. But they're just friends. Even though, she dropped the dog off at his house for a weekend and she lied to the family about where the dog was. And I don't know, he was moving closer to his sweetheart, according to what he said. Moving closer to my sweetheart up to Vermont. And I need to be closer to my mother who's sick. Even though we found out his mother was not sick. I mean, she's older. When we get older, we get sick. I mean, we're not on our best game every day. But, I mean, again, let these people talk. And in his case, let him talk and let him drink because he doesn't remember what he said. And sure enough, what did he say? Like at 4 o'clock in the morning when he was schnockered. For somebody who's just friends with Shy, why would you put out there that I gave her the ultimatum? It's either me or it's him because I'm not going to be number 2. I mean, I don't know. I don't tell my friends that. I don't tell my best friend, it's either me or it's her because I'm not going to be your number 2 friend. I want to be your number 1 friend. Of course, Snark is crashing out. Of course, she's crashing out. All I have to do is bring up that GoFundMe, and it is like a electric cattle prod getting stuck up her ass. She goes freaking ballistic because she knows she's wrong. Yeah, I know Jen's in Snark's box. Hey, I've already asked Jen over there to show the receipts of me paying her via Cash App or whatever financial app I supposedly used. And did you hear what they said over there, which is typical? You don't have to show anything. You don't have to talk anything. Of course not. Because they don't believe in receipts. They believe in what somebody says, and they believe it. And it's not surprising that they all hang out with Florida Man because they believe anything that he farts out of his rear end. Here, I have a good receipt to show. Hold on. Let me find the receipt here. Hold on. Here, let me find this receipt. Hold on a minute, please. I'm going to have to scroll down a little. Oh, do I have it on here? Hold on, please. I'm scrolling. No, that's not it. I don't think I have it on my page. Where would it be? Let me check one other thing. Someone asked for receipts over in that live and they got blocked. Yeah. Shocking. That's what happens, That's what happens. Scam or Breezy. Where's the quickest way to find my favorite Snark clip? The one where she was celebrating. Where would I find that? Celebrating. It's like Christmas. We are celebrating. Where would I find that? You have it on your YT? Okay. Let me pull that up. Because that's a classic. Oh, she rage quit? Did she rage quit? She rage quit? Well, there you go. Oh, boy. You know why? Because she knew if people heard that again, they'd be like, what the fuck is that? Oh, love it. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Yeah, I hit a nerve with her.
What'd you say?
She shouldn't have been in your live reading your chat. I put in the chat, hey, why don't you give that stew and bread to the people in Palestine since they're hungry? She called me a racist piece of shit, and
Wow, because you want to help them with food?
yeah, she's
Really?
showing.
Wow.
To me, it was like she was rubbing it in their face because she's showing what she's cooking, knowing that her friends, Belau and all them are all starving. Give it to them.
And it's funny you say that because when I was watching her live before I got on, she's sitting there making pizzas and making bread and making stew. And here's Bilal in a box with his kids eating and sharing a container or something. I'm like, you know what? That's pretty fucking shitty that she's sitting there making all that shit when supposedly these people are still starving over there, according to her.
Exactly. And she was doing it again because they were both in the box again. Her two friends.
Weird.
Yeah, weird.
Wow.
I just wanted to tell you that.
Yep. Yep. Thank you, Katie Bear.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, you know, notice the interaction that I had with Snark. That little interaction. Okay. What did she do? She swore at me. She called me rotten names. And all I did was ask her questions. I didn't call her out on anything. I didn't swear at her. I didn't body shame her, nothing. All I did was say, show the proof. This is how you show the proof. And look what happens. When people call her out on that, she loses her shit. And the only reason why people lose their shit when they're called out on something is because they're guilty. That's it. That's all you need to know. And then she rage quits. Ah, good times, good times. Well, you know what? I feel like I've accomplished a lot today. Done a recap of a lot of people. Uh, put out the information regarding the reward for Mike. Made Snark rage quit. I love when people show their true colors. Hey, Jen, I know you're listening because you do. You have your own TikTok pages and you have your Sophie page. And on the Sophie page, you put a lot of stuff on there. Put the receipts of me sending you money at least 10 times. Do it. Put the receipts on there. She didn't rage quit this time. The bus was arriving, so she had to get off, she said. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Oh, I'm sure there'll be a recording of this live, either on Scam Slams, Drama Talk, or both. Jen, put those receipts up. Because Florida Man said he did put the receipts up on his page, which he lied about because there's nothing there. So, Jen, they're your receipts, easily accessible from your phone, easily accessible to upload them. I upload stuff every day from my phone on TikTok. You know how to do it. It takes about 30 seconds. Post the receipts of me sending you money at least 10 times. What will your excuse be for not doing it? Because there is no excuse. You want to prove something about me that you say happened, and you have those on your phone because you supposedly sent them to Florida Man. So show the receipts. Show them. And if you don't show them, which you won't because they don't exist, it shows again and continuously that you are a liar, and so is Florida Man. And this is the thing that blows my mind, okay? The thing that blows my mind, again, is the allegations that are made on some of these platforms. They never show receipts, but people believe them. Just like Breezy just said over there, the other Breezy, too. Oh, you don't have to show or prove anything. Yeah, you do, bitch. Because if you're going to make allegations like that and you want to be credible, you need to show it. That's why that FM's platform and all y'all people that are in the boxes over there, you're a joke. You're not credible. And that's why a lot of people support what I'm doing, because I show receipts. That's the difference. So, Jen, you want to be credible? You want to have your big aha, I'm going to give it to Scammy moment? Put the receipts. Put them up. You got time. You were just in somebody's box. You got time to do it. Come on. Put them up. I mean, it's only 2:53 our time. 2:53, Jen. You got a lot of time left in this day. Post them. Yeah, it's not like she has a job, right? Oh, and that's another lie I caught her in. She made a comment in somebody's live about how she said in Florida Man's live that, oh, well, Scammy wanted to send me a housewarming gift, which is true. I was going to send her one of those cigarette, the tobacco, the cigarette maker thing where it puts it in the tube. Absolutely. I was going to send her one of those back in March or April when she got her place to help her save money. Absolutely, I was going to send that. I've mentioned that a lot of times. So she was in Florida Man's live saying that, oh, well, Scammy wanted to send me a housewarming gift, but I wasn't going to give her my address. I wasn't going to give her my address or where I work. Now, Jen mentioned to me where she worked. I didn't really get the name of it because I try not to remember stuff like that. I don't want to know that shit. Because the amount of times that she gets a job And we all tell her, don't tell anybody where you work. I don't want to know. But then when she was in a live recently, she said that I knew where she lived and where she worked. And then she tied that in with how all of a sudden she lost her job. So which one is it, Jen? Is it you didn't give me where you lived or where you worked, or you did give me where you lived and where you worked? Which one is it, Jen? Because it can't be both. So you talk about credibility. You talk about who do people believe? They don't believe you. They don't believe Florida Man. They don't believe people that are in the boxes. They don't believe Scammy Grammy over there. Because, again, you know, I showed you how much money came into the PayPal. I'm sorry, into my savings account from the GoFundMe. And I showed you how much money was deposited in my bank account. Now, you notice it was lower because, you know, GoFundMe does take out money. So I showed those receipts. So you know what, Scammy Pammy? What you can show is the money that it says was raised in Bilal's GoFundMe, which was 900 and let me see. I can pull it up. Let's see here. $909 raised of 15,000. $909 of 15 raised of that much raised. So, Pammy, all you got to show is this. Show how much money was deposited in your account and how much money you sent. It's simple. And you know what? You do that, then people are like, okay, that's cool. She got $870 or whatever it is, and she sent $870. Okay, she was telling the truth. But she can't do that. She can't do that because she didn't send the money. She didn't send all of it. That's for damn sure. JJ, are you kidding me? 2 days? I didn't even have that GoFundMe up for 8 hours. I had that GoFundMe up. I think it went live around 1 o'clock, and I think by 9 o'clock, I had closed it down because Florida Man posted it in his Discord, and he had mentioned previous to that he was going to report it as fraud. It wasn't even that long. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. Well, Scammy Pammy, I hope you have a great weekend coming up. Because we know on the weekends you don't go live. So I hope you stew in this. I hope all the people that were over there in the live, and really the only two people that could understand what were going on were Breezy and Jen. The other two gentlemen, I don't think their English is very well, which is, understandable because they don't live in this country. But, it's very interesting. It's very interesting what these people will believe and what they don't believe. It's crazy. They will believe some bullshit that somebody says and what people are lying about over there. But when you show receipts, they don't believe it. So that's weird. But you know what? Reality's going to hit them all in the face pretty soon. It's going to hit them in the face really soon. Hello, Fiona. But that's about all I have today, guys. I don't come on every day because I have other stuff to do, and I listen to a lot of lives and I pay attention to what's going on. And, I'm not going to come on here if I don't have anything to talk about, because nobody needs to listen to my voice if you don't need to. And, the past couple of days, I really had nothing to say, but, we're looking forward to your next live, Florida man. Can't wait till you're live. Can't wait to see who you're going to bring in a box and say it was a former student of mine. And just remember that if you do have that live, the next day or so, I'll be showing proof as to why, again, the allegations you're putting out are bullshit. And again, we will show that you continue and always will be a liar. Sure, Jen, love your name, by the way. He's been saying for months that I stopped teaching because of something inappropriate happening between me and a student. He started saying that, I think, when he was in T's Live in July. He said it a couple times, never showed any proof. And then he made a post a couple days ago saying that on the 16th, he was going live at 8 o'clock with a former student of mine. And last night came and he never went live. Personally, again, I'm hoping he was incarcerated. I'm hoping he was arrested. But I don't think it could be that good of a day for me or most people on this app. So we'll see. I'm sure, like I said, he'll crawl out of the septic drain soon, and he'll come back on and drop, a bunch of shit. He was live at 2:30 a.m. Ah, see, most people sleep, so I'm not surprised I didn't know about it. Oh, it's on YT. I'm gonna have to check that. 2:30 a.m. Well, you know what? When 24/7, you are looking over your shoulder and trying not to look guilty of anything while you sit in a white van with license plates that possibly don't match it, you're going to be awake at weird times. When a police car goes by you and you wonder if it's over. If you're sitting in a parking lot somewhere of a business that's closed and you hear sirens and you need to start your vehicle so you can get out of there so you don't look suspicious. Yeah, you're up at weird times and you sleep at weird times. I can understand that. But that's his life now. And, the walls are slowly moving in on him. Yep, you're right, Trace. The walls are slowly moving in on him. And, we are getting some information, not only about him, but again, about other people, which I think is hilarious. Because when it all comes down to it, a lot of the people over there are dirty. And they will throw a bitch under a bus if that person doesn't say hello to him when they come in alive. So, but listen, I am going to get going. I want to thank everybody for coming in here. Mods, as usual, thank you for blocking that person that comes in all the time that wants to show the nude pictures. Thank you for that. Thank you for watching the chat in here today. Appreciate all the time what you guys do. And shout out to the mods. I mean, these people take time out of their life when they see my ratchety ass go on and they're like, Scammy's on. We're going to go mod for her. You know, they don't expect anything. This is not a paying gig for them. And, you know, let me say something that says a lot about them and it says something about me. I have had the same mod since I started here in February of 2024. I've lost 2 mods. I lost one mod because they stopped. Oh, hold on a minute. My son just got home. Hold on. So, as I was saying, I've lost 2 mods. One of them is no longer on the app, and the other one got so busy that she doesn't have time anymore. I've lost 2 mods. That's it. I've added more. When you have mods that stay with a creator for a long time, and you have a creator that has the same mods for a long time, that says something. Because if they didn't believe in me, they wouldn't be here. It's their choice. And I appreciate that every single day. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing what you do. And all the people that came in here today and that come into my lives when I pop up at random times, thank you so much for supporting my platform. I appreciate it. And again, last thing, bolomichaelkinney@gmail.com if you have any information on where Florida Man is, or check my page. The Alachua County tip line is on there. It's an anonymous tip line. So is the email. If you have any information on where Florida Man is, where he could be, where you think he is, who you think he's talking to, anything like that, please reach out. It's time for him to stand up and take accountability for the bullshit that he did down in Florida for that business. And it's time we slam the door on him for all the disgusting and vile stuff that he's been doing to people on this app. It's that simple. Yeah, type in Michael Kinney in any search engine, by the way, guys. Type that in when you get off here. See what comes up. His name is all over social media. IG, he's on all over Facebook. Obviously, he's all over TikTok. Take a look. Put his name in there. Have a good afternoon, guys, and have a fantastic weekend. Take care.